And we are back. You're listening to Powerful Women Revealed. And my guest today is Tatiana Joyce with Crossroads. It used to be Crossroads for Kids. It's crossroadsma.org, but they're really smart behind the scenes because when you Google Crossroads for Kids, they're pointing you in the right direction anyway. So it doesn't matter. I do want to talk about the grow, build, and lead that you are very passionate about with your programs. Tell me about GROW. What is GROW all about?
So I think you hit on the nail on the head when you said before break that we've got so much to share. Because we do so much as an organization, and sometimes that can be really hard to share. So in thinking about how we've evolved from Crossroads for Kids to Crossroads, what we realized, we sat back and we said, we serve more than just kids. You know, so many of our young people are adolescents and then teenagers. And so we are really for our youth.
And you're serving the volunteers because that's their giving service. It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
So you're serving in many different ways.
In many different ways. And so what we said was, we had to ask ourselves, what is happening in our program, right? What is the evolution? We know it, we feel it in our hearts, right? Someone is coming to us like myself at 8 years old, and they are learning so many things. They're learning social emotional intelligence. These are the things that are harder to quantify. And then they're evolving. They're gaining leadership skills. Those are a little bit easier to measure. Then they're graduating high school. So what we said was they're growing with us, they're building on that growth, and then they're becoming leaders in their community. So when we start off with GROW, that is the first entry point into our programming, which is summer camp. And that's what that really starts at. It's the experiential learning, and it's the social and emotional learning.
And it's being connected. And I read in your bio that you said when you left Crossroads for the day and you went back home, it helped you to, you were still happy when you went back home, even though you had troubles happening inside your home.
Absolutely. It felt that, especially when I was a camper, I was raised by a single mother, and I love her so, so much. And our relationship has grown so much because I feel of my relationship with Crossroads. My mom, she blessed me with some of the best years of my childhood because she had her sobriety. And I can look back now and say, wow, what a gift that my mom gave me, 12, 13 years of sobriety as a child. And unfortunately, it came to a point where, she lost it. And I didn't know what to do because I saw my mom now as a person, as someone who had their own struggles, who couldn't be there for me in the way that I had depended on her for so many years. And that was so hard for me.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of conflict. We had a lot of strife between us because of that, because I said, wow, my superhero doesn't always wear the cape. And I had my Crossroads family to really
fill that void.
To fill that and let me know that there was no reason to give up on her. That I needed to take my own space, because you have to be in charge of the people around you, right? To a certain extent, you have to set the boundary for what you're willing to accept for yourself. And if you can understand that you can set that boundary high, you can protect yourself. And so I had to realize for some time that relationship wasn't going to be what I needed to be. But I knew that I could create a success plan for myself. And for me, that looked like college. That looked like keeping my grades up in school, applying for financial aid, and going to Tufts University. And I told them really frankly, I said, I love you. I want to study there, but I can't afford to. And so I have to say, I was really lucky because they gave me the grants to afford to go to that school. And at 18, I said, I love you, Mom, but I have to move out. I have to go on to the next step of my life. And that's been the best thing that I could ever do for our relationship, because I'm so happy to share. She's recently regained her sobriety. And in the years that I was able to take away from her, I've been able to come back and say, can we rebuild now? Because things were broken and I had to step away, but I love you and I can come back to you and we can have this relationship. And for so many of our young people, setting those boundaries, learning what you can accept for yourself, learning the standards that you can set for yourself is a part of the social and emotional learning that a lot of people don't prioritize.
And it's not just the learning, it's the learning, but it's the foundation.
Absolutely.
And you need, as a child, you need that foundation. And if it takes a village to raise one child. You know the old saying. I don't
absolutely.
even know what the
Absolutely.
saying is, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Love and support and emotional stability does not have to come from the old traditional ways that you would think. It does not have to come from your mother and your father right away.
Right away, yeah.
It can come from other places. And there's so many people that have experiences. What is the percent of people that, like you started out in the program and now you work for them? Well, I want to say with. What's the percent of people that are on board that actually came in as a child?
So what's super awesome is that, so Crossroads as an organization has roughly about 35 full-time team members. I'm sure I'm give or take a few
That's
people
fine.
on that number. But so that's us as an organization, year-round team. But over the summer, we get tons of staff because you need all those counselors. And the most beautiful part that, I love to share is that it changes every year a little bit again, but roughly 20 to 30% of our camp counselors are alum.
Yeah.
And that means that they are our culture carriers, and they are the ones that are saying like, oh my goodness, I saw you last summer. I saw you next summer. And so I know where you ended the summer last year. And so I want to see you build off of that, right? I'm going to hold you accountable. I know maybe you had a rough summer last year or that kind of thing, but it's the accountability because you know that there's going to be someone there that you know.
And what have you done in this past, since I saw you the last time? What have you done? What have you learned? What have you gained? You can have those kind of, great support questions and stability.
Absolutely.
This is so beautiful. I can't believe you guys have been around this long. And I just heard of you guys, I think 3 years ago.
We're the best kept secret in Massachusetts. We've gotten so much better about not being that, but I really do still think we are a really just a secret, and I don't want it to be a secret. I want it to be...
Well, you're not a secret anymore.
I know. I want the cat to be out of the bag.
This is great. Now, what are the 3 pillars? We have to go to break, but I think we have time to talk about these 3 pillars. Did we touch on that yet?
So I was going to flow them right in with the Grow, Build, Lead, but really, so the 3 pillars of success that we want to measure, right? We want economically independent young people. We want them to be socially and emotionally connected adults, and we want them to be civically engaged. And we say that the combination of those 3, that looks like success to us. For most people, I think that that's above and beyond success.
Yes.
But because we want that community, right? We want our young people to be the leaders in their communities and understand that there is a connection among communities, right? And that is how you forge and build sustainable cultural change.
And everything happens and starts with community.
Exactly.
It really does.
And, the model of, 2 parents, a child, and that being your...
2.5 kids.
Exactly. That being your insular family. I think that's really American because the whole world, there are so many blended families, and America is starting to reflect that. And I think, that's some people have a hard time with change. But, at Crossroads, we believe that if you change a life, you change everything.
I love that tagline. And I love the new logo. This is fantastic.
Thank
you.
you
Are going to make some changes on your website, right? There's coming up changes. You guys are just tucking it all in.
Exactly.
You're getting it all a little bit more organized, which is what everyone does. But you've been around a long time, so you guys know what you're doing. All right, we have to go to break. My guest is Tatiana Joyce, and she is with crossroadsma.org. You can go there for more information. And I also want to say and give a shout out to ajmarksjewelers.com. They have a Wareham and Hyannis location, and they are a family-owned business. And he's got kids, and he's all about supporting this organization with all of these kids that need support. So we're very appreciative of that. I hope you stay with us. You're listening to Powerful Women Revealed right here on 95.9 WATD.